and gentlemen. Am I doing it right? Is a question we ask ourselves every single week, and every single week we try to do better. Welcome to, if you don't feel like you're doing it right, welcome to the club. Do any of us know what the hell we're doing right now?
Truly.
Lord.
Let's just throw shit into the wind and see where it blows.
Katie.
What?
Language.
Sorry.
We talked about this.
Sorry.
We didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk
at
about
all.
it.
This week's episode will be focused on one thing in particular because there was a pretty drastic change that we made in our lives, and it's kind of a matter of time, especially when, you know, over the last 9 months or so, I've ventured into this card salesman business, which some days are very good, some days are very bad. So, of course, it's probably not going to be as big of a shock to hear that I made the ultimate decision. I traded in my Audi. Oh my gosh!
Day.
I drove a.
You love that Audi.
I do. I had always thought growing up that Audis were the coolest cars. Like I like that, and it's such a dumb reason to love a car, but I love the headlights.
Yeah.
I always kind of laughed at myself too. I never really talked about my car on the radio because I thought it was very uncountry of me. Oh, you're on a country radio station. Cool. Do you drive a Ford or a Chevy pickup truck? I drive an Audi black sedan from Germany with parts made in Ukraine. Like, it's great. But I love Audis. I think they're the coolest car ever. But an opportunity came up, and it's an opportunity that I took advantage of. And when I tell you what I replaced my Audi with, I know that there are going to be some comments of from
there's
people.
Already been some comments,
dude.
You've gone through the ringer on this one.
Oh
honey.
my gosh! And it's I took the opportunity. I took advantage of an opportunity, and I purchased an electric vehicle. What?
It kind of looks like a spaceship.
What? It kind of sounds like one too. So I work at a Chevy dealership, right? Please come see me. I'm actually having my best start to a month in my career so far. I'm at McCarthy Chevy in Lee Summit, right there next to Home Depot off Oldham Parkway.
Is it Oldham or Oldham?
So I think it's Oldham, but a lot of people say Oldham, which is disgusting. Like, right? What a horrible name. You can't think of a better name for that poor road. It's a nice road, and it's Oldham, really?
Oldham. Hey.
There's like a Perkins restaurant there, too. You imagine you got a restaurant, and it's on Oldham Road? Like, oh. No, so Chevy's actually making a bunch. You're seeing like all the manufacturers make their own electric cars now. Chevy's got a couple. They've got an electric Blazer and an electric Equinox, and then they got the little like the Bolts too, which are little tiny things. So I got it's a Blazer, so a big SUV, and so I'm a week into it. And when I tell you that the reason I bought it is something that I want to discuss first, because the reason I bought it has nothing to do with the environment. It has nothing, because like seriously, and you know we keep our political opinions to ourselves on this show, but like any car dealership you go into, frankly, is going to be massively Republican,
right?
And that's I would say that's the case in any car dealership nationwide, except maybe somewhere in California, or Subaru dealerships. But other than that, it's mainly Republican. And so like I make the decision, and I start hearing it immediately from the boys and from next door neighbors and not from parents, but like you could tell there was like.
Have you told your dad yet? Love it.
My dad, yeah. Sorry, Dad. Have not even told him that I bought an EV yet. But everyone's like, oh yeah, you probably think Biden won the debate, huh? You raging liberal. And I'm like, it has nothing to do.
We're not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Right? Because I'm like, what in the world? Like this is like it had nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with the environment. I took advantage of a real unique situation in the car market right now. And quite frankly, I would encourage everybody, if your biggest thing is saving money, like to be able to trade from a 2020, which is what my Audi was, into a brand new Chevy Blazer 2024 and lower your monthly payment at any other time in history is impossible. I mean, it's impossible.
Right.
But it is right now because, and if anybody from the dealership boss will listen, I'm sorry, but we all know the way it is. EVs are selling so poorly that everybody right now, and take this from me, a guy who works at a car dealership now, all the manufacturers are so desperate to just get their EVs on the road, to just make it look like they're somewhat popular and relevant. They're offering like these lease specials, and I sound like a commercial, and I don't mean to. So just know that this isn't meant to be like, I'm not trying to convince you to do anything. I'm just telling everyone like why I made the move I did, because at the end of the day, I was able to lease this electric vehicle for 2 years. I lowered my car payment $110 a month. I mean, I'm comfortable. I'm going to tell you my car. The average American car payment right now is $650 a month. Yep. My old car payment was $500 a month. Mm-hmm. My new car payment with I even got warranty stuff added on the back. So when the lease ends, sometimes in leases they'll get real picky about the shape, how the vehicle looks. Oh, it has a little scratch.
How many miles you got?
Well, miles are duh, but no, they'll there's a little chip on the windshield. Yeah. Oh, this tire is balder than we expected it to be. Oh, there's a little scratch. Oh, you owe us this much. There are some leasing companies that'll rip you off like that. Mm-hmm. So I got this it got a little warranty on it that covers scratches and things like that, and got it all taken care of. I went from $500 to $391 a month on a car payment. I went down $111 plus I just charge right there at the dealership. Good to go.
We can charge it at home. We got options.
Yeah, we have options, but the charging doesn't cost nearly as much as overall, I'm going to end up saving over $200 a month by getting into a newer vehicle with more room for the Chandler's car seat.
Yep. There is a lot more room in there. It was, just for the record.
It was sincerely one of the easiest, most no-brainer decisions of my life. And you know what? If you've never driven it, like Teslas are on their a whole other planet. They're right. They are actually
in their league
driving
of their own.
But a lot of especially the Ford and Chevy electric vehicles, the electric trucks, the electric SUVs, they're similar to driving a quote unquote a regular car, an old school kind of car. So if one maybe you've seen the inside of a Tesla and you're like, oh my God, I'll never be able to figure this thing out. Another thing, that's why I like this option, because it still feels like you're driving a regular vehicle. It just happens to run on electricity. So I get that there are those out there, and there are a lot of people out there who just for whatever reason you just hate electric vehicles. I know there's somebody probably listening to this podcast who drives a Ford or Chevy truck with a V8 engine, a 5.0, 5.3 liter. Awesome. You get horrible gas mileage. I think that's a major drawback to trucks, but I also know you love it because when I drive the trucks around at the dealership, I love driving trucks, but they're insane. In my opinion, they're insanely expensive. They guzzle gas. It costs more to maintain them. The oil changes cost more. There's a lot of money in trucks right now, and these EVs are just so desperate to sell them that they'll lease them to you for a crazy deal. Right. So I am super pumped that for the next 2 years, I've got a super low payment, and we've got more money in the house that we can invest into, whether it's stuff for Chandler or just going out to eat once more a week, right. Something like that. So for that, I'm super pumped up. I made this is one of the best financial decisions that I made in my life, and so if somebody on YouTube or Spotify is going to comment, "Oh, you bought an EV," da 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 da, I get it, but look where I work for a living. I've done my homework on this.
Right.
And it was a financial decision and one that I'm super proud of. I'm hoping to be in a good spot by enough times 2 years from now that I can buy me. I would love a brand new Silverado right now. Those things are sick. I love them.
They're absolutely sick. Well, and I think it's worth mentioning too. I still have my SUV, which is a gas SUV.
Right.
She's running great. And she's our extra driver. What you do is you just go really back and forth from work. You really don't go anywhere else. You don't drive. You don't do a lot of driving. Typically, if we're going out as a family, we'll take my car.
Yeah, because you still have the bigger vehicle. Katie has a Grand Cherokee, and anytime we all are out together, it's always in your car anyway. So it's let's lower a payment. Let's make a smart financial decision. I'm fired up, man. I think we got and here's the thing. The technology in these electric cars is pretty cool. If you're someone who likes technology, I know there's some old heads. Of course, if you're 90 years old, of course you don't like technology. Of course not. When I'm 90, I'll probably hate whatever the new thing is.
Right.
But man, this thing's got some buttons, some gizmos, and gadgets. It's freaking cool.
It is a cool car. It looks like a spaceship.
How big is this? It's got a 20-inch screen.
Chandler loves it. She runs around saying, "Daddy car, Daddy car." She really likes it. I think, it's. And we talked about it at length, and I came down and I looked at it before you purchased it or before you signed the paperwork, right?
Leased it.
And, I think it's also worth mentioning, we've been talking about expanding our family. We've been talking about what that looks like for us. A lot of people don't know that I've also started a new job.
Yep.
So I'm just getting settled in there, and like just kind of one of those things where an opportunity came up and I couldn't pass it up. And I'm very excited about it. But, as we talk about expanding our family, like two car seats in the Jeep isn't going to be very comfortable. Like the person who sits in the passenger seat now, knees are in the dashboard with that car seat. So we know if we add a second one to it, it's going to be tight. So, I mean, we've also been looking at upgrading that vehicle too.
Right. And then that would be a gas vehicle, because a lot of the things, like I run into this at the dealership, like, well, what about if you need to drive somewhere, like a road trip or something, or even something like to Columbia and back or Lawrence and back. It's like, okay, we'll just take the gas car.
We'll take the gas car. Exactly.
Like problem solved.
That's not a huge deal.
I've never understood that. All right, well, okay, what if I won't take a road trip? Well, then take the gas car. Like, if it's just you and you're by yourself, it doesn't make sense. That's the biggest thing that I don't understand with people who it's like, if you don't like the electric cars, cool, no problem. Don't buy one. Now, I understand that, like, what they're trying to do in California, right, where they're trying to force everybody to be an electric car by 2035, that's dumb. That is stupid. That is ridiculous. That makes no sense, and that sucks. And I hope that just fails miserably.
Well,
but I believe in, like, let the free market decide, right? Yeah. Freedom of choice. Let's put every option available and let the market decide what's going to succeed and what's going to fail. I like that I can choose to sell somebody an oh, yeah, we've got electric, we've got gas. What would you prefer? Gas? Okay, great. Follow me this way. Oh, electric? Great. We got some great leasing options right now. I'm probably going to lower your car payment over $100 a month. Yep. So if it's something you've been curious about, man, come seriously. And this is like a cheap plug, and I don't mean it to be, but if it's something you're just curious about, dude, come see me. Come see me at McCarthy Chevy Lease Summit. Like, let me just talk to you about it. Take it for a drive so you can feel it. If it's for you or you're just curious about it, great. And if not, okay, cool, no big deal. I would never try to force somebody to make that decision. It doesn't matter to me what you buy. Obviously I want everyone to buy something, but it doesn't matter what. Let's just get you in something that's best for you. But I think there's a lot of people out there like me who, you hear these loud mouths with one major opinion on it or not. But for the most of us, it's like, I'd be curious, but maybe kind of, obviously that's kind of a scary step to take, right? Are there enough charging stations? Right. There are. But I understand a lot of people don't do the research to figure that out.
Right.
But, man, if you're curious, just, hey, reach out, whether it's our social media, Am I Doing It Right Pod, YouTube, Am I Doing It Right Pod, or if you want to come see me at McCarthy Chevy Lease Summit, reach out and, ask questions. And if it's for you, great. And if not, cool. No problem. But it's been a fun experiment so far. I'm enjoying driving it.
Well, and I think it's also worth mentioning is and I have to get I'm looking it up right now. The exact numbers on it, but I'm pretty sure it lowered our car insurance too.
Let's go! I didn't know that. Hey, yeah. That's one of the bills you foot. So I didn't. That's awesome. Yeah. You're welcome, Katie.
Yeah. So I mean, I just think it's worth mentioning that. And then we also get a tax write off.
We do. We get to cash that in at the end of the year. That's going to be sweet. By the way, on a personal note, I do need to let you know that.
I can't.
The Audi, the old car, I did just trade it into the dealership, so it will soon be available for sale. I love that car, and I took immaculate care of that car.
You're kind of a freak about taking care of cars.
My car is always clean. My oil is always changed on time or before, except with this new one because I don't have to change oil. Shout out. And
do you really? You don't need an oil change on that car?
There's no oil in it. It's electric.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing you have to do, you have to maintain brakes, and then also brake fluid and steering fluid and all that. But
fascinating.
Oh, I gotta. You know what?
The more you know.
Am I Doing It Right Pod? If you've never seen what's cool about this, because some electric vehicles have what's called a frunk, right? A front trunk. This one doesn't have that. All the electric components and everything are still in the front. So you open up the hood, and it's literally just a big thing of plastic with two things you can access: either the windshield wiper fluid and steering fluid, and that's it.
Hilarious.
It's just this big sheet of plastic. It's wild to look at.
Hilarious.
So because it's kind of wild.
It's trippy.
Different. It's weird, right? But it's also kind of cool. I'll show. Am I Doing It Right Pod on our social platform? I'll take pictures of the car. Chevy Blazer EV. I got it in white because it was just sitting on the showroom floor, so not a drop of rain on it. I was like. Because you would come in and you would actually point out that you like the right one or the white one, and I'm like, well, you're the only person in the world I have to impress, so I ended up getting the white one. Yeah, make it easy. But it was It's been a cool experience. If you're curious, if you do have questions, happy to answer them. If you think I'm some giant douchebag because I leased an EV for 2 years to lower my car payment $100 and not pay for gas anymore, we've all got our opinions. That's fine. Yeah, but it was the right choice for us. But again, I'm not trying to shove it down anybody else's throat. I just think, God, there's so much like prejudgment on them, and I'm like, just decide for yourself. Like, do your homework and decide for yourself. Like, kind of the same with politics. It's like, do your own research, decide what's important to you, what works for you, and make that appropriate decision.
I think it's really worth mentioning. You have to also really evaluate like your driving needs. Like, how much do you drive? What does your commute to work look like? Like, what does that mileage look like?
With the lease for sure. If you bought one, that's different. But right now, you're going to save a ton of money if you lease.
I think even if you're purchasing a EV too, because just with the range, the range is different. And like how many times are you going to have to plug in? Are you going to have to find a supercharger? Like.
Yeah, well, that's where you get one. If you drive an extended range, what you do is you invest in the home charger because you don't need like a whole. I mean, Chevy will do like this whole home charging kit if you want, but honestly, all you have to do is call an electrician and have them install a 220 volt plug-in in your garage. For those of you unfamiliar, that's the same kind of like plug-in that your washer and dryer uses. Just have one of those outlets installed in your garage. Plug your car in there. It'll get about 20 miles of range per hour of charging. You can even set your phone up, connect it to your car so it only charges you can have it like plugged in at 7 p.m., but tell it not to start charging till midnight when Evergy's rates are at their absolute lowest, and then just have it charge overnight at the cheapest possible rate. Yep. It's cool, and I'm enjoying the experience so far. I will absolutely. It's nice that I have a super fast charging station at the dealership where I work. Of course, that's another reason why I'm like, listen, it may not be for you, but for me, it worked out very well. It's been working out really well so far. I'm fired up about it. Sorry I didn't tell you, Dad. I don't know if Dad listens. I think Dad listened to a couple of podcasts. He doesn't listen to every episode or hasn't. Maybe he's like a weekly listener now, but I'm not sure.
But I think, can I actually tell you what? What I was most shocked about and like what we've like heard from close family friends and things like that.
Yeah.
It's, not even the fact that you got an EV. Like that wasn't even it. It's the fact that you got an SUV.
I know.
Because you've always been a sedan guy. Like I've always been the SUV person in the family. And you've always had a sedan between the Altima and the Audis and the...
Yeah, I've had a lot of foreign cars. I tell people this in the car sales too. Like for me, like if I were buying a car, a sedan, I'm going foreign, right? You're going to Hondas, Toyotas, something, Hondas, Toyotas. Sorry. Or, me, I do like my luxuries. I do like my Audis. But like if I'm going American, like if I'm going truck or SUV, right? I'm going America. Like especially like Chevy and Ford have gone full out. They have like Chevy's getting rid of the Malibu. Ford doesn't even make a car anymore. Like the Fusion, the Taurus, everything's gone. It's just all trucks and SUVs. And I think Chevy's about to do the same thing. The only car they're going to make is an electric car. Yeah. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Well, I do. Go ahead.
I was going to say. I mean, like I said, we're talking about. I just think that's what people were most shocked about, that you got an SUV. And then, then like I said, if we're talking about trading in mine, that 24 Traverse, is she calling my name?
I know what she is. Yeah, we're going to get you a third row SUV. Currently, you do not have a third row SUV. And then I went from a car to an SUV. But that's just kind of the point we're at in life with these little kids, with Chandler, you and I talking about having another one, like growing family. Okay, we got to grow these vehicles too. We got to fit. We got 2 dogs running around too. Like we need room right now.
We do. We need the room to roam,
But that's okay. When we're old and retired, we'll get a sports car.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Get a Corvette.
Great idea.
I know. That. I love that idea, too. Thank you. I'm glad you love it as well. I do have to share an embarrassing story that happened less than 24 hours after I purchased the vehicle.
Yeah. Lease the vehicle.
Whatever. Same thing.
Obtain.
I'm going to move my microphone out of the way, and I'm going to get really close. This is for you watching on YouTube or Spotify on our video feeds. We get real close here. You see? I don't even know.
You can't really. It's kind of dark.
There it is. Right?
You might need to use your phone flashlight. It's a little dark.
Well, the point is, I have this little cut over my right eye. It's very persistent with looks like I got punched in the face.
It does kind of look like you got punched. And you had a black eye for a couple days afterwards.
I wish that I could come on here on this podcast today and tell you that I have a scar over my eye because I fought somebody and I got punched in the face. But you should see the other guy, right? I wish I could tell you that was the story.
No.
But much like when, Jenny and I used to always say on the radio, what's the number one thing we do on this show?
Keep it real.
We keep it real. So I have to be honest with you what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was at the charging station. My new ride was charging up for the first time. And it's like when you're at the gas station, right? You're at QT. Mm-hmm. You know how their gas pumps, technically you could hold the hose of the gas pump, but then like the pump, it's the nozzle itself, it spins independently from the hose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
so it's like on a...
You could twirl the nozzle round and round and round. It spins.
And it doesn't matter.
It spins independently. The charging, at least our charging station at the dealership, it's not like that. Like you kind of, it's the cord is
because
heavy.
It's wires, honey.
Yeah, it's heavy, and you have to if you have to turn it a little to get it to go into the charging port, it's kind of like a garden hose, right? It kind of twists, and then once you remove the garden hose, it has to kind of untwist itself. Mm-hmm. So I'm out there at the charging thing. I'm on the phone with our next door neighbor, so I'm like half paying attention, and I kind of forget just how heavy these things are. And God, this is an embarrassing story. But I unplug my car, and there was a little bit of a twist in it because there was but this thing is so heavy and it was twisted just enough that as soon as I removed it, it kind of spun on me and I lost control of it in my hand. I stayed holding on to it, but it whipped way out to my right side and then like a boomerang came around back, and the plastic part of the charger smacked me right in the face, dripping blood down my face in the middle of the day at the Chevy dealership in Lee Summit. Dude, it hurt.
I did not want to say. I'm glad I wasn't there.
It hurt. Oh, because listen, if it weren't me, I would think this is the most hilarious story ever. And I understand why it's funny, obviously, to everybody. I hope you listening right now to this story just got this visual of me hitting myself in the face with an EV
within
charger.
24 hours of owning this vehicle, you got your ass kicked by the charger is what happened. It's 100% happened. And then you called me afterwards, and I'm like, oh my God, are you okay?
I remember I made up a quick story. I was like, so I told a customer, listen, bottom line is you can't afford this vehicle, and they punched me in the face, and that's not
what happened.
Oh man, I got socked in the face by an EV charger, and it whopped me, and it hurt.
It looked like it hurt. It was swollen for a couple days.
I was pissed.
I know.
Like I went down.
Don't take pain well.
I went down to a knee and I punched the grass. I'm like, because when I get like. For me, I've learned it's like when something startles me, for whatever reason, that really ticks me off. Like if I unexpectedly stub a toe, like bang, it just, not only does it hurt, but it startles me. That just, I see red. I'm just
But you know what's funny? Like if I jump out from like behind a corner to scare you, you giggle afterwards. You go,
because it has, I think for me, what really sets off the rage, it's the combination of being startled and being hurt.
Yes, 100%. Oh yeah. As soon as you told me that's right, you didn't even tell me. You didn't even have to tell me how you reacted. I knew exactly. how you how your brain was going, and exactly what happened after that. And of course, you FaceTime me, and we're talking about it. And then one of your coworkers comes and I'm like, Katie, did you see your husband's battle wounds? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, do you dig scars? And I'm like, no, he looks kind of dumb. But I still love him.
That's funny. I'm sorry. I just got a Facebook message. I am also in the process of me being a really good friend. One of the guys at the dealership he actually sold it, but he had Morgan Wallen tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And he can't go. God bless him. He's going to a church. He's got a church function that he can't miss. So if he realized that was on the same night, so he's trying to sell him just face value straight. Like he's not like trying to make a profit like all these clowns on Ticketmaster, right? He's like, this is what I paid for them. He even showed me like proof of a receipt. And then he's like, I just want back what I paid for him. So I've been trying to, I put on my Facebook page a couple days ago, hey, here's my concert tickets. Oh my God, the amount of spam messages and spam. Do you know how many spam comments I got?
I haven't seen them.
Oh my God, every comment was like, hi, I'm also trying to sell 4 tickets. Please message me for details. And I'm like, they were all, it was like 40 comments. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is spam central. I hate.
Oh yeah.
Spammers and scammers have forever ruined concert tickets. Because you know why Morgan Wallen was so expensive? You know why the Kenny Chesney concert that just happened is so expensive? Is because these scammers online would jack these ticket prices up 5 times what they're worth.
Oh, yeah.
And people would pay those prices. And then guess what happened? Ticketmaster saw it and went,
Nope.
Oh, no. What they did was they're like, oh, people are willing to pay $1,000 for a pair of concert tickets? Cool. That's what we'll start charging. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, he did get him sold, by the way. He actually ended up taking a little bit of a... I think he got a hold of somebody and got a deal. But I actually, as we're recording, I got a message from somebody, and she's like...
Is it a spammer?
Well, no. This is a real person. She used to listen to me on the radio, but she's like... how many tickets are there? And I said 2, and I never heard anything back from her until just now. She's like, I tried messaging the seller, but had to, I'm like, you never even asked me who the seller was. So maybe this person's account has been hacked. I don't know.
Maybe.
This is crazy.
Maybe. That's crazy.
All right. So yeah, I'm driving an EV. I went from an Audi to an electric vehicle, and I used to be a country radio DJ. I am the most non-country DJ in the history of the universe.
You know what? It's okay.
I did cut my grass this morning, though. Grass
Thank
is good.
God.
Oh my gosh,
It
our
was
grass was
rough.
like 2. Well, so there's just the dealership.
Ungodly amount of rain we got.
Well, the dealership takes so many. I'm there for so many hours in a day, so I have just this little bit of time off. And like the last 3 days off I've had have been monsoon days. The grass is too wet, and we had a jungle out there, man. It was crazy. Feels good to get
It
that
looks
cut.
so much better.
I know.
That's probably why my head hurts, because I didn't take an allergy pill.
Oh, there we go. So yeah. I'm driving an electric vehicle. You don't like it? Cool. But like, man, can we all just like keep our opinions to ourselves about like decisions that others make that have no impact
got an
on you?
opinion about everything.
I know, but like if it has no impact on you, can you just like can you like shut up with your opinion? I'm sorry, that's mean. I shouldn't phrase it that way, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling.
But think about it, honey. Think about all the opinions we got when we first had Chandler. It's like, oh, you're not going to do this. Oh, well, let me tell you from this. Like, it's like sometimes you just want to be like, shut up. Like, I don't need to know this. Number one, you don't need to put the, like,
well, especially negative stuff.
Oh, right. I found it was always worse when, like, when she was little, when she was itty bitty. And now I'm just like, nope, I'm cool. And I feel like that when we go for round 2, it'll be, oh, don't worry about it. We got it. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. I know what I'm doing. Don't need your opinion.
That's why second kids, you're always hellions because you just don't. You're like, yeah, you'll figure it out. It's fine.
I feel like that's how I am now with Chandler, though. Like that's the kind of parent I am. I'm like when we were at a wedding. That's a good parent.
I don't know why you're saying it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I just feel like a lot of first parents don't do that. But like when we were at a wedding, one of my college friends was like, "Katie, your kid's eating cheese off the floor," and I'm like, "Yep."
But did she die?
Exactly.
No,
yep, she is. Nope,
yeah.
she's doing just fine.
She's fine.
And then what was the other one? Okay, never mind. I forgot.
Okay, think about it.
I will. I'll get back to you.
There's one
5
other
to 7 business days.
Yeah, all the good. I wanted to bring up something else that I'm so glad that I recently found out you and I think the same way when it comes to this topic.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure if that would be the case or not.
Interesting.
But we brought it up, and you were 100% on the same page as me. I love that. Like, as long as you're on my team, Katie, I'm good.
Okay.
Everyone else can be against us.
I'm excited to hear
but
what you
I'm
think.
good as long as you're on my team.
Yeah.
But this is a team that I used to be on the other side of the fence, and now I'm on this side of the fence.
Welcome. It's good to
I
have
hate
you.
fireworks.
Yeah.
I hate fireworks. We are as we're recording this, we're now 3 days past Independence Day. It's Sunday, July 7th on this date of recording. People in our neighborhood are still probably going to shoot off fireworks till 11 o'clock tonight. And I'm going to preface it with this. It has nothing to do with our child.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
Because she sleeps through it, but it keeps me up, and it keeps you up. And it's like, do people... I mean, I get like teenagers, but we're talking full-grown people older than us.
Like, it's not even so much. I think it's like we live in a very rural area, not rural, a very suburban area, right?
Oh, we're as suburban as it gets.
Exactly. So it's just like the all out, right? And I just think it's a little excessive. It's not that I hate fireworks. I would love to take Chandler to go see fireworks. I have zero desire to go, blow off a hand. But, or like, when we go to my mom's house. They'll go buy fireworks, or we'll go on the boat, and but they live in a less suburban area.
They're
like
a little more widespread between houses, yeah.
Exactly. But these people, everybody will do it until like midnight.
Yep.
And they do it like when I say we're in a suburban area, I mean the houses on either side of us are 20 feet away.
We're all in a quarter acre, right?
Yes,
we're classic suburbia
we're very,
USA.
Very close to one another. And the fact of the matter is, like, I do not need it to sound like a flippin' war zone in my neighborhood. It's like from the hours of 8 o'clock till about 2 in the morning. That's a little excessive. Now, I have appreciated our neighborhood Facebook page. I don't know if you've seen some of the quotes.
No.
Oh my gosh. Like, I know there was one. It's like, hey, if you've just moved to this neighborhood, we don't want you to be alarmed. We're not under attack. It's just the 4th of July and people go crazy. Like, kidding.
I think you brought up a good point about the time of it, though. I don't mind when those fireworks, they start at 9:15 or so, or kind of as it gets dark, and go till like 10:30. Like 10:30 is a fair cutoff time, right? Like when you're still blowing stuff up 3 nights in. First of all, how much money did you drop to be able to blow off fireworks for 3 nights in a row from 9 o'clock until 1 or 2 in the morning? Like, don't you have to go to work in the morning? Like, what kind of job do you have that, one, you can blow $4,000 on fireworks, and two, it doesn't matter if you fall asleep and you miss work in the morning? I don't know. And I'm like, as I get older, I'm trying hard to not be an old Scrooge.
I'm an old Scrooge.
But I'm trying not to be.
I'm real cranky.
But these...
And I'm real judgmental.
Dude, like,
and petty.
Can you guys just calm down with the, like, 10:30, 11 o'clock, right? Like, can we call it there? Especially if you're in a neighborhood with like 500 houses or however many houses our neighborhood has. Like, dang, man, just a little. And some people are like, Mike, you really sound mean right now. Am I mean? Or are the people shooting off fireworks at 12:30? Like, I feel like that's a lot more rude than me than what I'm saying right now. Like, especially when I was on the radio and had to be up at 4 a.m., I wanted so bad to just drive around my neighborhood at 4:30 and just honk my horn down every single street and be like, this is what it's like when you shoot your fireworks at midnight.
I think it's just like also just like
sucks,
how
doesn't it?
They don't get like just like, like street fireworks, right? That are like kind of safe to put in the street.
Yeah, they get mortars.
No, they get the mortars. They get the biggest and loudest flipping fireworks you've ever seen. So our dogs are sad. Like, it's a mess. And honestly, it's not even the dogs that bother me. It's just the fact of, again. So let me redo this Facebook post that was in our neighborhood. That it actually made me crack up.
The Facebook post from our neighborhood Facebook page.
Yes.
As recited by Katie Keller.
Yes.
Go.
As a follow-up to my post yesterday, new insert neighborhood name here. Congratulations, you survived the 4th. Now be advised there are 2 more annual over-the-top events that make this neighborhood awesome. Number 1, the biannual sell everything that isn't nailed down, including the kids event. And 2, the light up the neighborhood so it's visible from space. Post 4th of July event.
Yeah, we got another one.
It's literally what it is, meaning they're setting fireworks off pretty much through the weekend.
And the way the Chiefs are cranking out Super Bowls right now, pretty much every February we get a fireworks show too. So
oh my gosh, yes. Well, I mean, it's really coming off the precedent that our neighborhood was just underwater. So I think everybody is
right. I'm trying to present this not as a grouchy old fart, even though I know I'm coming off as one for that. Fart. I'm sorry, but like, man, like it's just
let's just keep it reasonable.
But like,
that's what we ask.
Can we just have a little consideration for others, please? Like, I feel like that's even though if I come off like a grouchy old fart, okay, but am I also coming off as polite? Because I'm like, hey, how about a little consideration for others and people who have to go to work in the morning, or I almost said go to school, but it's summer break, so all right, school's exempt there.
Well, maybe some kids do summer school. Oh, probably not, but I don't know anyway.
And like I said, like 10:30, 11. I don't feel like I'm being I don't think that's an unreasonable time. Like if the sun is it's like completely dark by 9:15, 9:30, go to 11. That's an hour and a half, and shoot off all the mortars early. Like have all the mortars done by 10.
Yeah,
get them big boys out, and then maybe if you just really want to shoot fireworks later in the night, cool. Do the little street fireworks later in the night and save your big booms for like that 10:30, right? Let's have all the big booms done by 10. Can we at least have all the big booms done by 10:30? Right. Can we compromise there?
I mean, I feel like it's reasonable. Like I said, it's not even the fact that I don't like fireworks. It's just please be reasonable and respectful of your neighbors
not to
around
mention,
you.
Right. And then I saw like a obviously what goes up must come down. And so I was cutting the grass today, and I saw some debris. And I yelled at the firework. You know what I yelled at that firework?
What?
Get off my lawn! That's what I think!
Get your walker out. Wrap this thing up. Let me get your tennis balls ready.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I got to go charge my car so I can drive to Overland Park and back, and then have to charge it again. Whatever, haters. I'm enjoying it so far.
I like the spaceship.
It's been a fun experience. It does make a weird noise when I'm just sitting at a stoplight, though. I wish I could get rid of that. That's
What
the
does
one
it sound
thing.
like, Michael? And with that, we'll see you later. Stop.